There it is. Okay. And then with that, I'm going to share, copy the link, and then I'll do it like so. And then I'll send that there. And then I'll snatch it.
What's snatching? Is that a new?
Yeah, it's just what I'm saying.
Trying to stay aware of all the new.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Have you heard of the term maxing? Like one is maxing?
Maxing?
Yes, like you're maxing, doing the most, you're maxing out.
Oh, that's awesome. I like it.
Share 'em.
Yeah, I like it. I like that. That's awesome.
Althea's son came to him and said, "Hey, Ayana is maxing." He's not wrong. Said Althea, what is maxing? He said, "You know, do the most."
Yeah. How about Althea is maxing? I still don't understand that girl.
Oh, really?
She was the reason why I was fighting in the street like a common street nigger on second at the after hours thing.
No, why? Who? For what?
This was years ago. This was years ago, but yeah, like a common street whore. I was I was out there.
I'm gonna be there for about an hour.
Yep. I'm getting started now.
I'm a little scared.
Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS Radio, baby.
Hey, this is Jasmine Guy for BKS1 Radio.
What's going on? This is Lamont Rooker, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all. Wyclef Jean.
Hello, and welcome to BKS1 Radio. It's the OW Show. It is your girl, Latoya Shanelle, and I am in the building for me by the grace of God once again. And I am here for another week, another show, and I am excited about tonight's show. As I have been telling you all for the past couple of weeks, we started off, the year talking about love and relationships, as we always do, because isn't that the basis for it all, everybody? Isn't that the basis for it all? But we started out a couple of weeks ago talking to the ladies, just trying to get a feel for what exactly is going on, right? What are we dealing with out here? What is going on? Ladies, what are some of our issues? What are some things we need to work on? What are some things we are seeing? And we actually had a pretty good show where we had so many people who were chiming in the comments, and everyone had so much to say. So thank you guys for all of that, because that was completely awesome. And I told you in the weeks to come that we were going to be, hearing things from a male perspective as well, which we're going to do tonight. I'm excited about that. And then in the coming weeks, we are going to have our favorite author and relationship coach, Trav, back in the studio with us too. Well, maybe the virtual studio. I don't know. We're going to figure that part out. But he will be here too. And then we're going to get from his professional perspective what he sees that's going on, in some of our relationships. But before we get into our topic for this evening, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to get to, some hot topics and some things that have been going on. First and foremost, I do want to have a moment of silence, just to rest in peace for the young lady who was the Miss USA 2019 winner, and that is Miss Chesley Christ, who unfortunately jumped to her untimely death in New York just a couple of days ago at 30 years old. Attorney, beautiful young lady, and she passed away a couple of days ago. So I just want to have a quick moment of silence for her. All right. And, it's crazy how you can scroll social media at any given time. If you're an avid scroller, or if you are someone like me who kind of just scrolls in the morning just to get a feel for what's going on, and then you kind of just keep moving with your life. But no matter when you do it, you always see these memes saying, make sure you check on your strong friends, right? It's become so norm now that we don't even think about it. We don't even think about it to check on our strong friends. We know that we go to our strong friends when we are in need, but no one ever checks to see what exactly it is that they are dealing with. And if in fact she was that for a lot of people, I do understand where she's coming from. I wish she had someone in her life, and I wish she was able to hear someone say, we need you here. We need you here. No matter what, no matter how hard life gets, we need you here. So, again, rest in peace to her, because that was just awful to hear that news, and someone that was so bright and so beautiful gone so soon. But I do want to move on and speak about a few other of our sisters. So if you guys weren't excited, because I'm switching gears here, if you guys weren't excited on Friday night to watch Miss Janet Jackson, in her own words, on the Lifetime special on Friday, and it was a two-part. So there was Friday night and it was Saturday night, and she pretty much just talked about things from her own perspective. I want you guys to talk to me in the chat, because I want to know, what were your thoughts on this? I thought it was going to be, I'm going to be very, very honest. I love Janet Jackson. I thought it was going to be juicier. That's just me. That's just me. That's just my terminology. I really thought that it was going to be juicier. I thought that, we were going to get more. I don't know. Maybe I thought that the baby was hers. You know, they've been talking about back in the 80s that she had some little girl with James DeBarge, and that she had been hiding the baby ever since. Some people said that the baby was being raised by Rebe. Other people said that the baby was being raised by James DeBarge's mother, the elder DeBarge. But either way, this has been a rumor for some time, and she squashed the rumor. Am I sad that she squashed the rumor? I mean, it's her truth. Not really, but I did think it was going to be juicier. She did go on to just talk about her marriages, love and relationships, which we're talking about tonight. She did go on to say that she has some sort of attraction to addicts. I just paused right there, everybody, because hey, we all got some kind of sick attraction, right? She keeps ending up with addicts. But all in all, it was good. I think, for the most part, everyone is pretty much upset with Jermaine Dupri, because everyone's trying to figure out, how did you fumble Janet Jackson? I have no clue. Especially, you know what? I'm not going to go on to what I was going to say about Mr. Jermaine Dupri. I wish him the best of luck in life. But in the meantime, everybody was mad at him. And the whole Justin Timberlake thing, just kind of, it is what it is. But it was great entertainment. I know it is her life. She did talk about her father for some time. But, it is what it is. So kudos to Janet and all that she is doing now. And at almost 60, what she's doing, what she looks like, and how she's managing. Kudos to her for that. In the meantime, moving on, because I want to run through these really quick so that we can get into our topic for the evening. I did also see that there were 2 New York nurses that allegedly made millions of dollars in fake vaccination cards. I want to know everyone's thoughts on this too, and I want you guys to talk to me in the chat about that as well. Fake vaccination cards, no matter how you feel about getting vaccinated or not getting vaccinated, You know good and doggone well, as much as the government is pushing this, that trying to push vaccination cards, eventually you're going to get caught, right? We do know this. We don't know this. Either way, they made 1.5 million. And unfortunately, they are in court now. So I don't know what's going to happen in that story, but anytime the government is involved, trust and believe they are going to make you pay for something. Yeah. Congrats are in order, everybody. Congrats are in order for Miss Rihanna and Miss ASAP Rocky. And if they are happy, I am just completely elated. I have absolutely loved and been entertained by all of the memes from men, including the videos saying that they wish that they had a chance with her, how Rihanna cheated on them. I think it was absolutely hilarious yesterday. All of the men that was just saying that she wasn't nothing anymore because they didn't get a chance to be with her. And I just thought I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But nonetheless, congrats to the couple. They've always seemed so happy walking around in New York, holding hands and doing what it is that they do. So again, congrats to her. And I wish them a healthy and happy and lovely pregnancy. One more thing I wanted to talk about from, this is because we're talking about the ladies. We're talking about the ladies. One more thing. Did you guys see this whole thing with Tisha Campbell? Did you guys see that video with Tisha Campbell on Instagram or Facebook or whatever it is, where she was talking about almost being abducted in Texas from a hotel, and then the police department coming back saying that they could not see if her story was true or not? Did anybody see that? Did anybody see that? Can someone tell me what this was about? Someone please tell me what this was about. I'm going to say, as a sister who has traveled abroad and was almost abducted. I know I've told you guys that story here in Paris, where a girlfriend and I got off the wrong train stop, and we were being watched by a group of men on burner phones who was following us to get us in a car. And it was a whole long story. We were scared. We just thought we was going to beat everybody up. But in the meantime, we weren't abducted because we were here now. But for someone who has actually been in that situation, Tisha, okay, I'm going to say it like this, because we do have the stigma of not believing black women. So I'm going to say it like this. Tisha, apparently at some point in time, you thought your safety was in jeopardy. And you have the right to talk about it. Kelly Price, and this is actually a show, I want to do a full show on this. Kelly Price, in her, not defense of R. Kelly, but Kelly Price talking about the parents of the young ladies that pretty much pushed their daughters in front of Robert Kelly, and her saying that this is the norm in the industry. I mean, I'm gonna stay quiet on this, okay? I'm gonna stay quiet on this, because there's a lot that goes on in the music and the entertainment industry that a lot of people do not know. I'm going to say, did Robert take some things to the extreme? Did Rick James tying people up to radiators? But the fact of the matter is that there's a lot that goes on. And so if you are a parent who is trying to get your children into the entertainment industry, whether it be acting or stage or music or whatever it is, and you have people who are giving you warnings and people who are telling you certain things in protection of your children, please make sure you take heed to whatever it is that their words are. Please, let's make sure, and I'm not saying that these parents were looking at a dollar sign, but please make sure that you are really, really, really looking out for your children if you choose to enter them into the entertainment industry, because there is a lot going on that a lot of people outside of it do not know. Was Kelly Price wrong in what she was saying? I don't think she was defending R. Kelly. I think what she was doing was putting the entertainment industry on blast and letting everybody know how things are done. So instead of putting her down for what she says, maybe we should be listening. Just my thoughts. So, in the meantime, as my heart goes out to a lot of my sisters out there, my heart goes out to Regina King out there, my heart goes out to all of the sisters out there who are suffering and going through so many things. I just want to say, keep your head up. You know, we're about women empowerment here, and we're about empowerment of all of our people here. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and get into tonight's topic. Those were just some quick hot topics right now. So, y'all ready? You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready? Okay. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I told you guys that we were going to be talking about love and relationships, and we were talking about women from our standpoint. And I asked the question, and, you know, we had a lot of people chime in, men and women alike chime in, where I said, ladies, what are we doing? I literally asked the question like that. What are we doing? You know, what does love and relationship look like for a lot of us today? Is it realistic? Or for those of us who are single, is it what are our wants realistic? Are they not realistic? We just asked so many questions and went through it. So tonight, everybody, I just want to talk about things from a male standpoint. So I have one of my guy friends in here. You guys, you know, he's no stranger to this show. He's no stranger to the camera. You guys have seen him over the years, over and over and over again, because I really want to talk about things from a male perspective, because we can't figure out what's going on if we're only talking about it from one side, right? So everybody, please help me welcome to the studio, live in studio, actually my first guest of 2022 in the studio, and maybe I think the second half of 2021 too, everybody. You know, COVID kind of put us all out. But either way, everybody help me welcome to the studio my friend Yusef, who's in the studio. And we are going to have a conversation about the male perspective on love and relationships right now and dating. Oh, boy. Oh, the guys are already on it tonight. The guys are already on it tonight. Welcome, Yusef.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm well. I am well. You ready to get right into it?
Let's do it.
All right. So I want everybody to know that these are really just conversations that Yusef and I just have on a regular. It just so happens to have a camera in front of us now as we're talking. I'm sure we won't say some of the things that that we say in front of you all, but for the most part, we are keeping it real with what's going on out here and what it is looking like out here. We good, Norm? All right. Yusef, I started off my show with the ladies and I said, what are we doing? So I'm going to ask the question to the fellas, since you are representing right now.
Absolutely.
What is going on?
I just want to make sure we're clear now. You're asking me from a male's point of view, what is going on
in dating and
women?
Relationships
with the women? What are we experiencing?
What are you experiencing? Yes.
Oh man, a lot of fantastical expectations of what a relationship is.
Expound, please.
You know, a lot of the Snow White Disney type of running through the meadows love and life type of imagery that they are trying to play out. That they're trying to play out in real life. And especially at this age, you know, middle age.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
So, you know, I could understand it from when you're young, in your 20s, late 20s, 30s. But, you know, as you get older, you have children, you've had life experiences. I think dating in this late age, a lot of our expectations should be realistic and practical, right?
Okay.
And I think that you know, a lot of sisters aren't really there. They're not in reality. They're on you know, they're all in social media. They're all in La La Land.
So, okay. So I want you to give me some examples because I don't want anything in this conversation or discussion to be misconstrued in any way. When you say that you feel as though a lot of women are looking for this fantasy, do you mean a white picket fence, sweep me off my feet fantasy? Do you mean like you are in charge, you are in control of my emotions and I'm making you in control of them, or you're responsible for them fantasy? Just expound and give me some examples on what it is that you're referring to.
All of the above.
Okay.
You know, they're expecting and nothing is wrong with that, right? Because there should be some goals.
Absolutely.
Right? There should be some standards, but when you're first dating someone, the goal is to get to know the person. It's to vet the person to see if this person is worth the toll and the time, the investment, the emotional investment. And I think initially a lot of women want, they want the little fantasy at first. They want to be swept off their feet, da-da-da-da. And a lot of men at this day and age are like, wait a minute. Especially 40 plus, 35 plus, right?
I was going to say, is there an age limit to this?
There's an age limit.
Okay.
You know, earlier, we was dating, doing what we got to do, spending money, dating mad women, and just blowing money fast, so to speak, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And foolishly, might I add. So now in your later years, you have more wisdom. So now you're moving a bit more strategically.
Okay.
And in doing so, it's not really about the experience. It's about really not about the event or the activity. It's more about the quality of the time spent and getting to know where this woman is mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I think that's being missed in the early days of dating.
Why do you think this is?
I think, because we've been cultured into thinking that, love and relationships are supposed to be a certain way. And it's supposed to be that way all the time. And a guy is supposed to pursue you a certain way. As he did in your 20s, as he did in your 20s, he's supposed to be doing the same thing in your 40s, and it's a little different,
I got so many questions.
Hey, we here to talk. Let's go.
So many questions. So with what you're seeing, what are you hearing from? So you are dating now.
Yeah. I'm dating, yeah.
You're dating now. So I want to know, what are you hearing? What are you hearing are you hearing any complaints? Are you hearing any? Okay. Look, I'm trying to find a nice way to say this.
We talking real talk, right?
Right.
So, a lot of women are saying, they aren't getting the feedback that they expect from the guy. They aren't being pursued how they envision the guy to pursue them. They're not seeing that, right?
And we're talking about 40 plus.
Oh, we're talking 40 plus.
We're talking 40 plus.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
All right.
And again, talking with the gentleman that I associate with, again, they're echoing the same sentiments I spoke of earlier. It's different now.
It is different.
I'm not really concerned about how you're looking. I'm not concerned about the bed. I need to know what's in your head and your heart.
Absolutely.
Because just like you, I've been hurt too. So I'm being very cautious and I'm vetting you properly. I don't want to come in wowing you, sweeping off your feet, giving you the world and everything in the beginning, because that masks the real true you and the issues we may have to deal with and or part ways on. You know what I mean?
But not only does it mask the real true you, it masks the real true you.
Absolutely.
Because if you can't maintain the feet sweeping, where they feel swept at all times and feel like they're living in this fairy tale at all times, then now all of a sudden you've changed in the relationship.
Oh, you ain't being consistent.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
or you're not being consistent. Absolutely. So it's better to start off in reality than it is to expect this fairy tale just for the sake of dating. In the event that you're saying that you're looking for something real.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So I guess my question is, because, I had to turn it on the ladies. I had to turn it on the ladies in one of the last shows. So in this particular show, what is it that we feel like that the men can do differently in dating now? What are some mistakes that you feel like men are making now?
A lot of men aren't holding true to themselves. They are, doing anything that the woman wants them to do in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And again, like we just spoke on, mm-hmm. you can't, no one can maintain that, mm-hmm. right? And at some point, there's going to be some inconsistencies, and then we start to unearth traumas, past experiences, triggers, all this other stuff, when that should have been dealt with from the door.
Yeah.
We know we're physically attracted to each other,
But
right?
do people really deal with trauma in between relationships, or do people just hop to the next relationship?
Well, we know what it is, right? Most people hopping. But now we trying to be the change that we want to see. So mm-hmm. right now it's the platform for us to promote that change, right? Mm-hmm. So forget about monkey branching, as they say, right? Mm-hmm. We're trying to deal with the drama, the trauma. Mm-hmm. And I think that needs to be, I think a lot of men, for lack of a better word, they start to simp, right? Mm. So instead of dealing what they know they need to deal with at first, they do whatever they have to do to gain the attention of the woman, and then try to handle the rest on the back end. And we can see as a result of the relationships and the failed marriages, mm-hmm. that does not work.
It doesn't work. Right. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And these are conversations that you're having with your friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because it's definitely important to be real with our circle.
Absolutely. Especially if you want real constructive criticism and advice. Yeah. You have to be honest with your circle so that your circle can be honest with you and give you the proper advice and wisdom that you need mm-hmm. to have a successful relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Friends are necessary, people. Did we get that? Hello?
Hey, listen.
Hello?
The village is very important.
Okay. Did everyone get that? Friends and having your friends are important to your relationship. And Yusef and I actually talked about this the other day. You need someone to bounce things off of before bringing it to your partner sometimes. Because you never know how your partner may take what it is that you're going to say. And so sometimes you need a trusted advisor or a trusted middle person to be like, I was going to say to him, or, I was going to say to her this. How does that sound? And these are people that help to keep your relationship strong. These are people that help to keep your relationship together, because a lot of times they're checking you mm-hmm. so that you aren't diminishing or throwing darts in your own relationship. Absolutely. So it's necessary.
Absolutely. I had to help a sister out earlier this week.
Did you?
Oh yes, indeed. She was ready to be toxic a little. Okay. And I had to tell her, hey, come back, mm-hmm. slow down, mm-hmm. have a little patience, a little grace, mm-hmm. and it worked.
Oh, good.
She did as directed, and she had some success. So again, just to follow on what you're saying, mm-hmm. definitely use your wise counsel. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, though, you got to be honest. You can't come with your narrative or what you want to paint to the friends, because, again, you're going to get the advice that you don't need.
Yep. We talk about it all the time on the show. We talk about how the true foundation, if we're just talking about African American couples, men and women, if that's what we're talking about, that's the context that I want to go to right now. But that is the foundation for everything, right? So we talk about Black economics. We talk about group economics. We talk about, and then, and when you look at other races of people as examples, you clearly see that it's all about families, of which ours have been broken. And you, by a number of different reasons. But when it comes down to it and you break it down to its very core, you have to have Black women and Black men in relationships getting along to create these families, right? And unfortunately, I want to know your opinion, but unfortunately, at our age, for those of us who maybe had children early or are divorced or never got a chance to really settle down and find a mate, I'm noticing the arrogance of time. Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm noticing the arrogance of time.
Yeah. An illusion.
It's time is an illusion. And I'm noticing that if we're talking about trying to build, okay, we know better now. Maybe we didn't know better at 20. Maybe we didn't know better at 21. Maybe the relationship didn't work at 25. Maybe the relationship didn't work at 30. Now you're 40 plus. Mm-hmm. You recognize what it takes, not only for you in your life, but for us as a whole, as a people, what it has to be in order to move your culture forward. Mm-hmm. Not just you and your family, but to move your culture forward. You recognize how things have to be. And because it all comes back to just dating and meeting people, mm-hmm. What are you seeing timeline-wise with some of the people you are coming across?
Again, there's so much delusion with time. We have been socialized into thinking that we have all the time in the world. Mm. We think that we got time, we can do it, and and I'm going to stay young forever, and no, you're not. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Okay, we got to be honest with ourselves. We got to be honest with ourselves, and we got to teach the younger people that they don't have a lot of time either. That they have to act now, and the sooner you act, the sooner the better. Mm-hmm. And again, we talking from a male's point of view about the sisters. I'm encountering that a lot of sisters think they have a lot of time. Mm. And I can just they can just be real
examples. What you hearing? Yeah, what are you hearing?
Again, listen, I'm 40 and fabulous. Don't tell me I'm gonna be living in fabulous till I'm 90. And I got, I'm gonna be the entrepreneur and the boss B and all of this. Nah, no. You 120 grand in student loan debt, man. What we talking about? And you gonna be the boss. And you got a side hustle. And you making 60 grand. What we talking about? So again, it's the illusion. Mm-hmm. And we're better together than we are separate. Listen. We are better together. We are stronger together. The fist is always more mighty than the finger.
And that is, I think that is a lesson for us all. I feel like that philosophy started off as a young man's philosophy, but now has adapted to the successful black woman philosophy, right? Where I can stay single because I'm working on me. Mm-hmm. I can stay single because I'm working on this endeavor. I can stay single while I work on that endeavor. And, I feel like years ago, you would hear a lot of our brothers say that, like, nah, I got to get this money. I got to grind. I got to do this. I got to do that. And, I got to have this in place before, I settle down, have a family, blah, 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 blah. And now I'm noticing you're hearing women in their 40s, 50s even, that are saying, well, no, I got to focus on me right now. I need to get another degree. I need to buy another house. I need to do this. I need to do that. And when I say arrogance of time,
let's look
we're
at it
so
like
messed
this,
up.
right?
We're
Look,
so messed up as
right,
people.
right. But look,
so
men have that time. Women don't.
Not if you want to procreate. No.
Well, it's all about procreation.
Like, not
right?
if you want to procreate. No.
In order to push culture, you have to have people. The people push the culture.
Absolutely.
And what pushes people? Procreation.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So women have to be more aware of time and what's going on. And men, not that we could just be lackadaisical, but, our thing is to build. We're supposed to be building up ourselves.
Right,
and
but
and
for clarity, though, you have this time younger.
Yes.
Younger.
Yes.
40 plus. God, I want to say so much. Everybody needs to be hitching a wagon to someone else.
Can I interject?
Go ahead.
First of all, the wagon should be hitched early. For me,
the way the world is set up, it's supposed to be.
It has to be.
It has.
First of all, there's been no time in which you shouldn't have been hitching your wagon early. We, especially Generation X, we was given a bag of doo-doo. Bad advice. Live your life. Be independent. Don't count on nobody. Yada yada yada. That's the wrong advice.
It's messed us up.
So
it's completely messed us up.
Going forward, I think we should be advising our children and the upcoming generations. Hey, get a mate. Get hitched early. I'm not saying don't have your fun, right? But after 25, you should be looking to marry, to procreate, establish, and you can build a family and build your career at the same time.
Because that's what you're supposed to do.
Right. But so many of us has been fed that
brainwashed.
Yeah. Oh no, but get your career right. Da 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 da.
We've brainwashed each other with bad information, with bad advice. There is literally no other group of people on this planet that operate the way we do, and we wonder why we are hundreds of years behind people in other cultures. Now, granted, we can't take out everything that has happened with us in this particular country.
Absolutely.
We cannot remove that. However, with a lot of us being more enlightened now than just Frederick Douglass of his time, you understand what I'm saying? We need to begin to move differently. And if you notice, in other cultures, you go to high school, you go to college. In college, you're looking for your mate. You're not just looking to screw. You're not just looking to date. You are looking for a mate to settle down with.
Absolutely.
By the time you graduate, maybe you go to grad school, maybe you get some experience in corporate world. Right after that.
During all that. Most are engaged during all that.
The world has groomed you that you were supposed to be married. You don't go buy the house and then get married. You don't go build the business and then get married. You don't go have the children and then get married. You don't go and do I'm doing all my traveling for. You don't do that and then get married and then wonder why when you get married later on in life, there's not too many experiences that you can share with your spouse. Why? I digress.
You've done it all with your girlfriend.
Hello.
Yeah.
You was down at Freaknik. You was in Miami.
Yeah.
You was in Jamaica. You understand what I'm saying? And so the way the world is set up, and you and I actually talked about this, the way the world is set up, it is set up for us to be in pairs.
That's the way Moses did it, right?
Hello. and to be in pairs from very early on. Mm-hmm. The fact of the matter is, and you and I spoke about this, if you're getting a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, we are now in a range of 45. If we met someone tomorrow and decided we wanted to get married in the next 2 years, and then decided we were going to settle down and purchase our forever home with them, are we paying on this home until 75?
You better aggressively pay if you're smart.
Are we? Is that what we're doing? And then we wonder why we're light years behind other cultures, because other cultures, by the time they're 50 or 60, they're buying their vacation home. They're leaving the forever home to the next generation. They're either buying the vacation home or already have the vacation home, and now they're buying the retirement home. And you wonder why we're behind, because we're getting a 30-year fixed rate mortgage on a forever home at 45 because we just getting married. Something they did 20 years ago. If you get a 20-year timeshare, are you ziplining at 65? I'm just asking.
Absolutely not.
I would like to be.
I'll be golfing, but nonetheless, I get you.
I would like to be ziplining at 65. But my point, I'm using these points because it is set up for us to pair up and be wed early. Every industry, finances are set up for you to pair up and wed early. Your tax breaks. Everyone, it's so funny how a lot of us as Black people, we look at the wealth of people we've worked for a lot, right? And we look at the wealth and we try to figure out how they get it. And a lot of times you'll have our men look at those men of other races and think that they did it a certain way, not knowing 9 times out of 10. If they started the company, it was a loan from somebody's father-in-law.
Absolutely.
Somebody's uncle.
Or the loan shark.
Mm-hmm. They got married early, and in doing so, people use joint tax returns to start businesses. Mm-hmm. You don't start the business, then get married, and then try to do things. I guess what I'm trying to say is, marriage is the come up.
It is.
Before you do all of these other things, the marriage is the come up. So when you speak about the arrogance of time, and you have ladies in their early 40s still wanting to be, oh God.
Yeah. Yeah. You've been swept probably 5 times at this point. When are we going to start really building? When are you going to start really building?
Because what you're doing on your own is not what matters.
Listen, you got to, in order to get a different outcome, you got to do something different. Okay? All of this expecting, the lovers that run through the meadows and the roses and all that, that's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. But that's not day-to-day reality.
So let me ask you, what is, and I know you can't speak for every single 40 plus African American man right now, but what is it that our men are looking for? Because I hear my sisters complain literally on a daily basis about some of the things that they are going through in the dating world and why they would rather be alone, why they don't want to deal. So I want to know, what are some of the things, like you and your group of fellas, what are some of the things y'all are looking for?
The main thing we're looking for is someone who is cooperative, loyal, supportive, feminine, not aggressive, soft, warm, inviting. What does that
mean?
You know,
from a male perspective.
The guy doesn't want to hit the door, or when he encounters you, you got the stone bitch face. Have that warm, inviting aura to you, so that he feels comfortable also.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you want him to want to do for you.
Right.
You got to give him something.
Yeah.
And a lot of times women be holding back. Oh, I ain't giving him too much because he just and look, and we can sense that, right? Mm-hmm. We can sense that you're holding back. Mm-hmm. It what's going on in your mind eventually plays out in your actions, and now you're holding back. Now we sense that, and now it's a chain reaction of, back and forth with this whole negative dance here.
Right.
Look, be warm, be inviting. Use your wisdom to vet these gentlemen. Right? If you feeling this guy, use your wisdom. And not only that, utilize the men around you, your family members, your brothers, your friends. Have them meet this gentleman, mm-hmm. right? Because they're going to see what you don't see. Mm-hmm. And as a man, I'm doing the same thing. I'm bringing you around sisters, mothers, mm-hmm. the girls, because I want them to, look at you and analyze your ways and actions to see that which I don't see.
Right.
But again, what we're experiencing with the women is a lot of, hokey pokey. Get your left foot in, your right foot out type of motion, and we don't want that.
Right.
Right. We don't want to hear about your degree or what you're doing at work. We don't care about that. We don't care about your accomplishments. We want you to be intelligent, of course.
Absolutely.
But your educational level really doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Are you intelligent? Are you inviting? Are you warm? Are you feminine? You know, do you have the ability to make me feel comfortable in your presence?
Mm-hmm.
Are you inspiring me to want to protect and provide for you?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of women don't understand, you know, you got to give a little to get a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a give and take situation. And a lot of women just want to come what I'm experiencing and what the other gentlemen are relating to me is, again, a lot of women come in like, all right, what you giving me? What you bringing?
One-sided.
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 Yeah, there's no reciprocity.
Right. I want to know, you know, I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg, if it's the women that messed up first, if it's the men that messed up first, right? Or whatever it is, whatever the trauma is, we know what we know now, and we know what we're working with now. How do we move forward? Because all of us have been hurt. All of us have dealt with trauma. How do we begin to move forward together?
It's very simple. Remove the ego. It's not about you. It's about the collective. It's about us. How can we band together, move forward, and create that love and that life that we want and that we envision? Forget about your ego. Forget about what you want all the time. You got to start thinking about what they want. Learn your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Study that partner. Make some compromises. It's not all about what you want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if hey, look, Toy, if you want to go to the movies and I really don't feel like seeing this movie, but I know you want to go, right? So I'm like, all right, let me just go. Let me bite the bullet. It's a compromise. It ain't going to kill you to go. It ain't going to kill you to smile for me, right? So we got to learn to compromise with each other. Be patient with each other. Understand that, yeah, we all been through some shit. Sorry, excuse me, all through some stuff. We're all traumatized. But we got to have patience with each other, you know. And you got to be honest and transparent. Hey, these are my triggers. These are my experiences. And you have to be active with trying to cope with those traumas.
And I think a lot of us have been in relationships or jumping from relationships to relationships for years at a time and saying we're being patient, but the honesty with yourself.
That self is a mother.
Yeah, the honesty with yourself is one of the biggest things. Being able to see yourself and how that trauma has affected you. How the trauma has affected you. And you got to get to the core of that before you even get to everything else that could be going on. Like, oh, well, I'm only meeting the ladies in the strip club or this, that, you know what I mean? So before you can get to that, you got to get to the core of what your trauma is in the first place. You know what I mean? I feel like you know, it goes back to what we were saying earlier on in the conversation. We were all fed a lie.
Absolutely.
We were all fed this generation was, because I feel like it started with us, because I don't think it predates us.
A little bit, but like we were just like the
independent black woman thing. The independent black woman thing and the fellas go for yourself thing.
We were the products. We you know, but we were fed that by our parents.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's still fairly new in concept in the history of us as a people. It's still a fairly new concept where, yes, we were fed the lie that girls, you better not depend on no man. You better not depend on this. You better figure it out on your own. You better get all you can get on your own. You better do this. You better do that. Da 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 da. And then you wonder why nobody knows their place now. And it's the same thing with our men. You know, clearly there's more to a man than protection and provision, right? But even with there being more to a man than protection and provision, telling him, don't you trust no female, don't you get with no female because she gonna get you for all you got. Love is just a concept. No, you don't gotta be married. No, you don't gotta. That's a what is it? A Western philosophy that you need to be married. You don't need to be with no one person. You just need to spread your seed and multiply. You just need to do this.
Well, we can contextualize that, but there's room for seed spreading, but I get what you're saying.
But I'm just saying we all believe that. We grew up believing that.
Well, of course.
And now we're a middle-aged generation that's messed up because of it.
Absolutely. So now that we know better, we got to do better. We got to teach better. We have to, and not only that, we have to teach it, but also we have to display it. We have to exemplify that.
We have to display
We have
it.
to. So again, put away your ego, have some patience, have some grace, deal with your trauma.
So what date are you getting married? Because we got to display.
Look, I am trying out here. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm not running away from it, but it got to be right. The person that I'm, entertaining has to be about the real work.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm not coming in here trying to have this fanciful display of love for people. No.
You gotta make a decision and you gotta stick to it.
And I'm sticking to it.
Right, because at the end of the day, love becomes not just a feeling; it becomes a decision.
Absolutely.
And I have decided that I'm going to love with you. I'm going to love you. I'm going to make it work with you, and we are going to move forward. And this is what we're working towards, and this is what it's going to be.
Absolutely.
But I love that you said that you got to display it too, because we have so many social media gurus, talking about love and relationships and aren't in one.
Well, ma'am, listen, that's one. But listen, right? For example, I have a young woman that I know.
Okay.
She's very, very knowledgeable.
Okay.
And she's divorced, right? Mm-hmm. But she's very knowledgeable about relationships, and I go to her for advice, right? Mm-hmm. One could say, "Why are you going to her for advice? She ain't married. What's she going to tell you?" So we got to be careful with that advice.
No.
You know
I'm definitely not saying that. I'm definitely not saying that, because the fact of the matter is, you can't. You need to take constructive criticism from someone who's constructed something. So it doesn't mean that they constructed it and it's still here. They could have constructed it and it failed, but they learned something from it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I definitely wouldn't say that. I'm saying that when I say that you have a lot of these relationship gurus on social media who we go to them for everything as far as advice is concerned, but it would be nice for them to display the fruits of their labor as well, especially for a lot of them that love and relationship is their bread and butter. It would be nice to see, well, how are you doing this? Mm-hmm. And not just on a facetious way, well, I don't see you doing it. Mm-hmm. But no, I want to see how you're doing it, because at this point I am following you as a guru for most things. Mm-hmm. I want to see, how are you treating your man in this kind of situation? How are you treating your woman in this kind of situation? Almost like a ministry.
Right.
Almost like a ministry. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I just want to be careful with that wording, but I'm glad you clarified it.
No. Because I'm definitely not one of those people that's like, well, you don't have it, so no. Constructive criticism comes from people who constructed something. Mm-hmm. So you gotta, you had to have done something.
Absolutely.
In order to do that. Yeah. But either way, unfortunately, we're coming to the end of our show. So we definitely have to have you back in studio like we always do. But B, we definitely have to have one of these Mars-Venus discussions like we used to have in the past when the world was open, and hopefully it's opening up again and we can have one of these in the springtime. But I think you answered the ultimate question. How do we move on? How do we get past this, right? Because the point of this show and Outstanding Women That Help Heal is we're trying to help us to heal as a culture, right? And it has to start with a conversation. We have to start having the conversations that we're not having. Right. We're having the, excuse my language, he ain't shit, she ain't shit conversations. Right. We're having those all day.
Right.
We're having a screw them, you don't need them conversations all day.
Yeah.
Those conversations come a dime a dozen, but when are we having the conversations about we need to make this work, and not only for ourselves and our families, but for us as a culture.
Right, and as a race of people eventually, because without procreation, there's no people.
Mm-hmm.
But also, in closing, I think, those who know better have to start doing better, and you got to start checking people. Gracefully, of course, with intelligence and poise. But, you got to start, hey, sister, I don't think you should be talking like that. There's a lot of good brothers here. Hey, bro, don't be talking like that about that sister. I'm quite sure you had a bad experience, but that ain't them all. We got to start, checking this stuff. If we just, become the peanut gallery, then we just feeding the fire.
We start becoming, I know.
Yeah.
That's not going to get us nowhere.
No.
But like you said, you got to get past yourself to see the bigger picture. Not only in your relationship, but the bigger
Throw away the
picture.
ego. Get away. Look, that ego is killing us. Literally. Forget about it.
It's killing you individually, and it's killing us as a people.
Collectively,
yeah. Collectively. All right, listen, Yusef, this was great. Obviously, there's more topics that we can get into, and there's plenty of ways that we could go with this. But I really do want to make sure, if the world is open and everybody feels safe, that we're able to do this again and have another Mars Venus discussion where we can get more ladies and more gentlemen together and just hash it out.
Yeah.
Hash it out and become ambassadors for love or something.
Absolutely,
I don't know.
yeah.
Let's get some T-shirts.
Yeah. But yeah, we got to be that change. We got to be the change.
Right.
If not us, who? If not now, when?
And on that note, people, on that note, everybody, thank you so much, Yusef, for coming in studio with me today
No problem. It's always a
today
pleasure.
and having a conversation from a male perspective. So y'all don't just think I'm just up here talking about things, just, me on my own. I want you to see, things from another side of it too. In the meantime, I love you guys for watching. I love you guys for listening. I love you guys for being here week after week. And God willing, I will be here next week, same time, same place, a different show. And hopefully you guys will be here too. Everybody, please stay safe, stay warm, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye.